Why, hello there everybody, welcome back to the Star Wars headquarters. Hope you're all doing good. And StarWars.com just revealed some really cool details and concept art of the new era, the High Republic. And I just posted this recently on StarWars.com. I'm on there right now taking a look at these brand new vehicle and starfighter designs, some of which are actually inspired by the Clone Wars era, including this Jedi Vector starfighter right here, which is a direct design from unused concept art from the Clone Wars movie. So this is so cool to see this, and then we're going to dive into the other starfighters and vehicles and ships from this article, including the bad guys ships, if you will, who are the Nile, that's what they're called. And we're also going to be taking a look at some other designs that are inspired by some other eras of Star Wars that are going to be brought into the High Republic era. So this is going to be really cool to go over this complete article here. There's a lot of really cool information in this article, and hit that like button if you are excited for all of this new Star Wars stuff coming up. We got the new series coming up, of course, and if you're not familiar with the High Republic, it's basically the new era of Star Wars, of course, and it's going to be limited at first to only the books and novels and comic books, but I do believe they're using the comic books and novels as sort of an incubation area where they can test the waters, find out what stories are the most popular, find out what characters are the most well received by the audience, and then move forward and make movies and series based on the High Republic. That's what I believe is going to happen. So this is just the beginning, and it all starts in January of 2021. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up on top of all the other announcements that have happened recently. So shall we dive into this article? I think we shall. So we're on StarWars.com taking a look at this article. It's called Inside Star Wars, the High Republic. Meet the ships and vehicles. I'm going to start right here with the introduction, because this is very important. It sets up the whole article, and it sets up kind of their thought process with these new ships. So let's take a look at this ship right here while I'm reading this off. And this ship right here is the ship that was directly taken from unused concept art from Star Wars Episode 3. And it's called the Jedi Vector. So this ship is freaking awesome. I'm really, really excited about this ship to know that it's directly inspired by the Clone Wars. And the article says, set centuries prior to the events of Star Wars The Phantom Menace, the High Republic offered creators the rare opportunity to world build in the fashion of the Star Wars films. This meant looking at what already exists in Star Wars and figuring out what would come before. And then we have a quote here that I'm going to read off from the article, starting off right here. It says, "We all found a lot of inspiration in how the prequels opened up a more refined era of the galaxy, but by virtue of those films' proximity to the originals, it had to start showing early signs of corruption. By moving further in time away from that downfall, we're able to see the Republic at its height in this storytelling," says Pablo Hidalgo of the Lucasfilm story group. He then goes on to say, "In the core worlds especially, that's reflected in fashion and technology. A lot of the visual exploration in the High Republic is taking what we know but idealizing it." So some really interesting information on their thought process in this article. And we're going to go to this part right here, which describes this very ship you're looking at now. It says, among the High Republic's biggest additions to the visual lexicon of Star Wars are the ships of the Jedi. Especially important as the High Republic takes place during the peak of the Order, and known as the Jedi Vector, these fighters are almost mosquito-like in angular and elegant design befitting this Gilded Age. So really cool to see this, Jedi Vector ship right here for the very first time. And again, this stuff is going to be limited to just the comics and novels at first, but it makes you wonder why they're so focused on nailing down these designs, because I do believe that we will eventually see the stuff in the movies and series on Disney Plus. I would not be surprised at all if that's their ultimate goal here, of course. Now, if we move on to the rest of the article, we're going to go to this part right here. It says, taken as a whole, the prequels track the march from handcrafted artists and technology to machine-stamped assembly line tech. So given we were dialing the clock back to episode 1, there were a lot of design explorations that had, you know, delicate, streamlined feel that felt relevant, says Hidalgo. He then goes on to say, even heading into episode 3, there were Clone Wars designs that had a foot in the past and a foot in the future, and from there, we found a great contender for the Jedi Vector. It looks very insectile, slim, and delicate, but with a definite sting. Of course, the bad guys need ships too, which is why we are moving on to the Nile's ships right here. And we're going to read off what the article has to say about these bad guys. And they have a couple pieces of concept art showing off the Nile's ships. And again, the Niles, if you're not familiar with them, the Nile are the bad guys. I'm kind of pronouncing it with an S. It's actually the Nile. So Nihil. That's how it's spelled. So that's the main bad guy group or enemies of the Jedi in the High Republic story. And if we go back to the concept art, they posted 2 pieces of concept art of the Nile Starfighter and ship. So we got this one and this one, and we're going to read off what they had to say about these 2 pieces of concept art. So it says, in the High Republic, the Nile are brutal, savage marauders, according to Light of the Jedi author Charles Soule. Their battleships appropriately have a much more unrefined style. He then goes on to say, for the Nile, their look derived from art developed specifically for the High Republic initiative. There were some pieces from The Force Awakens and the current Star Wars movies that explored pirates, scavengers, and basically Star Wars survivalist, says Hidalgo. So this is Hidalgo saying this right here. And then Hidalgo goes on to say, that pointed in the direction of a patchwork force that was uniform in its non-uniformity. The Nile have a design language with a big vocabulary, end quote. It then says, then again, so does the High Republic at large. So it's really cool to see how much thought process is going into these new ship designs. And I have to say, they look freaking awesome. I cannot wait to see more of the High Republic. Hit that like button if you cannot wait to see more of the High Republic. And let me know, you know, will you be diving into the books and comics of the High Republic when they start releasing early next year? Now, it then goes on to say this. It says, in designing the High Republic, Lucasfilm followed a time-honored Star Wars tradition, recycling. Almost every Star Wars production includes designs from something previously left on the scrap heap, and the High Republic has done the same. And I know recycling, it can have like negative, you know, stuff associated with that word, but in Star Wars that can actually be a positive because, you know, honestly, it's really cool to see that they're bringing in Clone Wars designs and other era-inspired designs as well. I personally think that's cool. It then goes on to say the following. It says, thankfully, I had already pulled together a playlist of hundreds and in some cases thousands of unused concept art images from across all eras of Star Wars filmmaking for another project, says Phil Showstack, Lucasfilm Creative Art Director. And those 15 or so playlists are broken down by subject. He then goes on to say, for example, Jedi, aliens, droids, starfighters, etc. Due to the sheer volume of unused concepts I was selecting from, I used George Lucas and Doug Chang's 3-second rule to choose candidates that clearly and quickly read as potentially appropriate to each High Republic need. And those subsets of art would then get passed along to Lucasfilm Publishing Creative Director Mike Siglane, Troy Alders, and Pablo Hidalgo, and myself for further discussion and refinement, end quote. The article then goes on to say, both Showstack and Hidalgo are especially glad to have brought a couple of specific looks back from Star Wars design purgatory. So again, they're diving into unused concept art pieces. They're diving into the different eras and bringing them all into the New Republic, which personally I really love to see this because, you know, George Lucas, he did speak about this as well, and he loves to not only utilize what's there but also make new stuff as well. So it's cool to see that they're doing both things here. Now we're going to move on to the next ship here. We're going to move on to the Republic Longbeam, and I love the name of this ship right here. It's called the Republic Longbeam. I'm going to read what they had to say about the Republic Longbeam in their article. It says, I loved that an unused James Cline ship designed for the Resistance bombers from Star Wars The Last Jedi is now our Republic Longbeam. So this ship right here is directly taken from unused Last Jedi concept art, and I have to say it looks freaking awesome. I love this ship. Now Showstack then goes on to say, James did a series of beautiful early concepts for that vessel, some of which you can see in the art of The Last Jedi, before he turned the whole idea of a bomber on its head with a vertical bomb clip, which of course we see in The Last Jedi at the beginning. And personally, I love that ship design. I love that bomber. But yeah, this Longbeam, Republic Longbeam ship here looks really cool. I love the sleek design of it. I like how it has the forward kind of like wings on it, and then the back boosters right there. It just looks freaking awesome. So let me know what you think about it in the comments. And then we are going on to the next ship called the Legacy Run, and this one looks really cool. Now I believe this concept art, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's directly taken from the new era. I believe it's taken from Force Awakens actually, and I don't know, I don't think the Millennium Falcon, you know, freighter design there is going to be a part of the High Republic, of course, so keep that in mind. We're kind of focused on the ship in the background here. We're not really focused on the you know, the freighter that looks like the Millennium Falcon, which I believe it is in this case. We're more focused on the ship in the background because this artwork, from what I understand, used to be Han Solo's freighter from The Force Awakens. This is the old design that was unused. So the article explains this right here, and it says, the Legacy Run was derived from an unused design for Han Solo's freighter in The Force Awakens that I have always liked, adds Hidalgo. There's a blunt simplicity to it, a flying box of boxes. It tells a story that this isn't a luxury passenger liner, but it's all some people can afford. You can tell how it operates just by looking at it, and it isn't fancy, and in this case, it didn't matter that it came from the Resistance / First Order era, because this design is likely hundreds of years old. And that's a good point. Even though they're kind of taken from the new trilogy era, you know, keep in mind some of these designs might be hundreds of years old in terms of the Star Wars history of that particular ship. Now he then goes on to say, Star Wars designs are shaped more by culture than they are by innovation, so this is much more a working ship, end quote. I love the triangular shape of the ship. He described it as boxy, but it's more triangular to me. I think he was referring to the design they used in Force Awakens for Han Solo's freighter, possibly, but this one looks freaking awesome. Again, I love these ships so far. It's getting my two thumbs up so far. I'm really enjoying these ship designs. So let me know what you think in the comments about this particular ship. And then it goes on to say, and with the High Republic less than a month away, Hidalgo and Showstack have their picks for favorite designs from the epic. And we're going to go on to this one right here, which is called the Starlight Beacon. Sorry, Starlight Beacon. And this one is Hidalgo's favorite pick for the new ship design so far. So for Hidalgo, it goes on to say, it's the layers of one particular construct that resonates the most. He says this about the Starlight Beacon. He says, the Starlight Beacon is a good example, I think, of a design telling a story. He says, the station, which was designed specifically for the High Republic, the top of the station is a deliberate echo of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. So that's a really cool inspiration there. And then he goes on to say, and imagined to be this iridescent monument that shines in the dark. The underside of the station is the utility, the industrial foundation that keeps the station chugging along. It's the plumbing. Those who are allied to the ideals of the Republic can look at it as an inspiration example of balance of working together. Those against the Republic can get riled by what they see as a statement of class and divisions. There's a lot going on there, end quote. So this Starlight Beacon, of course, represents a lot, you know, to the people of the High Republic era, but you may have a different perspective of it depending on what side of, you know, the factions you are on. So, you know, you might have a different viewpoint of this depending on if you are on the Republic side or on the Nile side, of course. So I'm guessing the Nile want to absolutely destroy this station, of course. So I'm sure it's going to be the focal point of many battles to come for sure. But there it is. Let me know what you think about all of these new ship designs. You know, I'm very impressed with the ship design so far. I'm very excited for the potential of the High Republic era. I'm hoping that, you know, after they release all of these books and novels, they can really nail down the stories and characters that people really love and enjoy and make those into full-blown theatrical movies and Disney Plus series. I'm really hoping we see that in the near future. But there it is. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a lot of reading, but I wanted to get that all out to you in case you never have seen any of this. I think it's some really cool stuff here. And I will see you all in the next video. Let me know what other videos you want to see right here at the Star Wars HQ. And may the Force be with you always.